Fantastic. Wishing all the fathers, but I would like to wish both as parents, dad and mom, a wonderful blessing to them that they all were the reason for us to come to this planet Earth. So let's thank all the dads and moms on this beautiful day and such of those who are all here on this platform for today. Thank you very much. And it's an amazing journey. 3 years of walking along with Terahertz company and with the terahertz water. Today's the topic is something about uric acid. I think you all would have heard about it, but there are some details which I'm going to share today will give you a little more detailed picture of how we can handle this problem, which is I think in every 100 patient I see 90 to 95 people will have uric acid problem. 90 to 95%. So in that way, today's topic will definitely give a lot of insight about how we can handle. Now, being the 91st episode, it's a honor for me. Another 9 episodes, I'm going to complete 1 century. So thank you very much. The countdown has already begun. So the next 8 weeks, that means in 2 months' time, I should be able to complete my 100th episode, and I hope I should be able to give my 100th episode in the Terahertz company hall down there. And with all of you down there, I think it will be a great pleasure in meeting you with my 1 century of episodes. So thank you all for this wonderful opportunity. Now, what is that? We human beings have deviated from the main survival to destroying mode, not only destroying thyself and the surroundings, affecting all living beings. Now, it makes a lot of sense. And what I mean by deviated from the main survival is, see, last time our ancestors, I'm talking about maybe thousands of years ago, they were all just living as human beings. They used to be born, then they used to hunt, eat food, go sleep. That's it. Nothing much was there. Unlike today's world, now we are all here on the Zoom platform. We want to learn. There are so many things we want to do. It's good that we are all evolving on one side, but there are a lot of other things what we are all doing is not only affecting our body, but it is affecting our surrounding as well. So there is a lot of environmental changes which is happening, and environmental factors play a very, very important role in our epigenetic correction. So in that way, there are certain things, whether we like it or not, we are all using a four-wheeler, using a petrol. So there are a lot of pollution and emission which is created by the four-wheelers. Definitely, it affects our health in one way or the other way. Then the other things like the pesticides, what we all use on our plants and the injections, what they use for the chicken to grow faster, and the boosted food for the animals. So there are a lot of things which is actually doing the wrong thing for our cellular health. But you and I wouldn't know whether we can change, but I think we can choose what we want to eat, and then thereby we should be able to move forward. So basically, let's get into the uric acid and what is uric acid. Now, what is uric acid? It's a normal waste product cleared from the cell metabolism. That means every cell, you have 50 trillion cells, and there is a metabolism. That means the nutrition, what you eat, goes inside the cell, and then just give me a minute. So what's happening is the waste product cleared from the cell metabolism, and when there is a DNA which breaks down these waste products. Now, uric acid is one of the waste products which is brought out from the cell metabolism and the DNA breakdown. That is number one. Number two is it's also present from the food, especially if you're eating the animals, liver, kidneys, and the shellfish, nuts. Alcohol, this is something which very, very important. And there are certain drugs like the diuretics, even aspirin. I think most of the people who have a cardiac problem, they're all on aspirin. And niacin is a vitamin B3 actually. Niacin, even when you consume that, there is a lot of uric acid being produced. Now, what happens to this uric acid? It's basically produced from the breakdown of purines. This is all, you don't have to go into the detail. It's after this breakdown of purines, you get the uric acid. Now, after breaking down, what happens is the uric acid has to be cleared through the kidneys or through the bowels. Now, you'd have heard a lot of people having, kidney stones. So uric acid is one of the reason for formation of stones in your kidneys. So in that way, you should not have high uric acid in your body. Very, very important. See, if the crystals are formed and then pushed into your bowels, it's easy for you to evacuate it, means clear it up. But imagine if the kidneys has to bring out the stones which is formed inside your kidneys, and then if it is more than 5 millimeters, the stone will not be able to pass through the ureters, the tubes which comes from the kidney and to your bladder, and then it comes out. It will be very, very painful. I think people who are had kidney stones would know how painful it is, when you have a kidney stone. Now, if this uric acid is not excreted, see, whatever metabolism is going on every day in and out, and it has to be excreted out through the kidneys. Now, if it is not excreted, what happens? There is a chance of forming of kidney stones. That is number one. Number two, if by chance they escape out of the kidney onto your blood, it can go get lodged in your joints. Now, this is where if you see people with high uric acid, there is a disease called gout, which doctors would immediately put you on some steroids and painkillers, especially when you go down with severe pain and with the swelling of your small joints. The doctor will say you have gout, and once they check your uric acid and if it is high, then automatically they'll put you on a treatment for the conversion of uric acid to be blocked, and thereby they prevent the uric acid formation. Now, this is all the treatment part. But who is the first reason for this particular situation? We are the reason. What kind of food we eat, and do we drink sufficient amount of water? All these play a very, very important role. So we are all understood what is uric acid. Now, if you look at this particular picture here, what you understand is what is a blood test. When you do a blood test of for uric acid specifically, your doctor will get back with you with the results. It varies from 3.5 to 7.2. Now, if it is 7 and above, there are a lot of problems you will face. Now, what is the ideal level of uric acid? It should be below 5 is ideal. Anything below 5 absolutely is fantastic. Now, uric acid, we do need it for certain metabolism in our body. Now, here there is another thing what you all can see is, this is my bioquantum machine where I can check your uric acid, but at the cellular level, not at the blood level. When you do the bioresonance test value, you can see the uric acid is quite high. Can you see here the normal is almost 1.987, but this person is having almost 3.174. Now, this is in the cell level. Now, automatically, if you see this particular person definitely has some proteinuria. That means because of the cellular uric acid little on the higher side, the kidney will be having a little bit of problem, which you will not be able to pick it up in the blood test. Very, very important. That's why cellular levels sometimes very high, but if you do the blood test for this particular person, it will be totally normal, and the doctor will say everything is normal, and then you will go. But still, you will have certain issues slowly building up. Now, this is where when I do this bioresonance and the bioquantum analysis, I pick it up well in advance of at least 2 to 3 years. Well in advance, we pick up, and then we work on cleansing of your kidneys so that sufficient amount of water you need to drink so that you can clear your uric acid. So very, very important. That's the reason in epigenetic we work at the cell level is very, very important. I think now people are understanding that how do we go and check your cellular level, and then slowly we are able to transform your health into optimal health, and thereby you become a healthy individual. Now, just for a little bit of story, we need to go back 5 million years or 10 million years or 15 or 20 million years ago. We just go behind. Now, those days you can see on the photograph, they are all called primates. Now, we, according to the Darwin theory, we all came from the our primates. So we all have the features. Now, once our ancestors are primates, now during this millions of years ago, and of course, due to the environmental changes, there were a lot of destruction happening. And then those days, it was only the survival of the fittest way used to survive. Now, in the research, what they found was there are certain primates which had a high uric acid. Now, why is this high uric acid very important is because what they noticed was there were seasons, hot season, spring season, and then winter season. Winter season is a time it will be very cold and the minus degree temperature. These primates will not be able to go and hunt and bring food and eat. So what the body was doing was automatically the body was producing uric acid. Now, uric acid was produced for survival instinct. That means for you to survive, the uric acid our body was manufactured to produce. Now let me go to the next slide. So what I mean here is increasing in uric acid was a survival mechanism. So isn't that beautiful? But today, the same uric acid has become a nuisance in our day-to-day life. Why? Because when the uric acid was high, automatically you get all the problems of the pain, aches. Now imagine our primates, what kind of medicines they were taking. They didn't have any hospitals. They didn't have any medicines that time. So if at all, if they had high uric acid, they should have had some problem like gout and all. But nobody diagnosed that time, and it's still fine. But according to the nature, there are a lot of healing which happens naturally. Now here, if you look at, they had to go and hunt the food. This is what they used to do. Now in that way, if you look at, they never had a proper home. They probably were living on the trees and they never had any staple diet like every day we cook and eat, right? Those days they were all eating raw. Probably they were plucking the leaves, the plants, the fruits, everything was natural. But later on, only when the primates become very intelligent enough, they started killing the other small animals and they started eating it. And even water, they had to go in search of water wherever natural resource was there, they has to go on. So definitely when you look at, life was a very, very challenging. But today if you ask people, hey, how are you, they'll say okay la. Like they feel as though they are living a very challenged life, and then they are, it's highly impossible. But today's evolved human beings, we are supposed to have everything at our doorstep, isn't it? Isn't that, shouldn't be that easy for every one of us to live a peaceful life? But no, there are a lot of other challenges we are facing. Now in that, what is the role of the uric acid was when the season were harsh with the like impending winter, there was one group of species wherein their uric acid levels were very high and they survived the journey. And so are we here today because of those primates, the species which survived those climatic conditions. Today we as human beings, we are all living here on planet earth. Now how it helped, number one, just see this very, very clearly. An increase in uric acid will increase the fat deposition on the body. That means it will ask your body to produce more fat when uric acid is there. Another very important function of uric acid is it will increase your glucose, and thereby for the brain function, especially in winter, you shouldn't be having a brain fog, isn't it? You should be intelligent enough that someone else doesn't come and kill you, means they don't hunt you down. So you should be smart enough to escape from that situation. And then there was an increase in the blood circulation also. So these are the natural levels. If it is maintained, it gave the good benefits of having the uric acid slightly on the higher side. Now what's happening now? Evolutionary, what happened was the environmental mismatch is happening. That means we, because we got evolved and there is an environmental changes which we created, definitely there is no matching. So that means, for example, in Malaysia, do we all have a winter season? No. Do we have a snow? No. Do we have a summer separately? No. We have, it's almost the same. Either it is hot or it is rainy. These are the only two climates we can see in Malaysia. Now, if you look at there are most of the countries and most of the places, they will have 4 seasons. So in that way, each animal when they were born, they used to get accommodated according to the 4 seasons, and that is how they were able to balance their life with the self-regulatory methodology. Now, what is happening? Today we all are eating what? Number one, high fructose sugar intake. It is not just glucose. If you ask anybody who is a diabetic, they will say, no, I'm not taking sugar, I'm taking only brown sugar. Some people will take cane sugar, some people will take jaggery. There are a lot of, but if you look at most of the items which is all food, packed in tins and other ready-made foods available, there will be corn sugar. Fructose is made from corn sugar. That is one of the methodology for you to, feel the sweetness of the sugar. So high fructose intake is another reason for the high uric acid conversion. Number two, high carbohydrate consumption. This is another area where we are actually producing a lot of high uric acid. Consumption of alcohol. Now, is it that all the alcohol? One of the most commonest alcohol, when you consume a lot, you will face with high uric acid. What is that? It's called beer. Beer is something produced from the yeast, but it has lot of purines in that. Now if you see guys out there, they will drink jug, one jug, two jug, three jug, because they think drinking beer is very healthy and it's okay because it contains less of alcohol. But they don't understand that drinking beer will create a situation to have high uric acid, and that high uric acid in turn will give rise to internal problems. Now, other than that, high stress, definitely yes. Now, excessive meat eaters eating peas, nuts, definitely that also is an indication where you will be having producing a lot of uric acid. Dehydration. Now, this is a very, very beautiful subject because this platform here on terahertz platform, we are talking about terahertz resonated water, and we are talking about dehydration, and people are supposed to drink water. Now, when you drink sufficient amount of water, you can avoid your uric acid going up. But there are in this past 3 years, I do have come across people who have been drinking uh, terahertz water, but their uric acid levels were very, very high. Now, I think that is something to do with the genetics. It is not the food related, it is not the environmental related, it is a genetic. So definitely when you have all these, your uric acid is definitely on the higher side. Now, saying that, if your uric acid is on the higher side, what are the problems because of the uric acid? Now, this is a very, very scientific study which was done by the medical fraternity. And what did they found? Out of 90,000 people tested, both males and females, what did they find? They found that 16% of the people who died of unknown reasons, that means they don't know what is the reason they died, but they died. 16% of them had high uric acid, more than 7. Then 38% increase in cardiovascular issues. That means you have heart problem. Those people invariably 38% of them had high uric acid levels in the blood. Number three is 32% of the people who had stroke, stroke had uric acid very, very high. Other than that, they found that 115% of people risk in having dementia. That means you forget. 115%, they had who all had dementia when they checked the uric acid, very high. 55% of the Alzheimer's disease persons definitely had high uric acid. Then 80% of the vascular dementia, that means anything to do with your brain and forgetfulness or memory loss, they found that 80% of the vessels were had a problem, and that is how it led to dementia. Now, isn't this good enough for us to understand that uric acid, which was supposed to be helping us during winter season so that we don't need to go out, our fat will be able to be utilized, and during the winter season our brain can function by the release of glucose from the fat and thereby sustain the winter to move on and then go to the next level. What has happened today? We all live in a room where we have air condition, we have food on the dining table, all ready-made foods are available. With all these high funda varieties of living style, we are facing a lot of disease related situation. In that, I see a lot of people with uric acid, which is one of the very important element which causes the acidity in their body. The body is acidic, and then that by itself will promote a lot of diseases. Now, acidity, as you know, will promote inflammation. If you look at the cardiovascular issue, the first thing, like what happens when your uric acid is high, is it will affect your kidneys. There is an inflammation happening around the kidneys inside. If there is an inflammation around the kidneys, definitely there will be a little bit of issues in the kidneys. It can be in the form of a kidney stone, or it can be in the form of a foamy urine. That means proteinuria. There is a leak of protein happening from your kidneys. Now, this is just the initial stage. Now, according to the Chinese philosophy, what they say is if the chi energy in the kidneys is not good, you are eligible for blood pressure. This I learned from my Chinese friend way back around 7 to 8 years ago. So that is why most of my patients who come for kidney issues, the blood pressure, I will be treating the kidneys first for them to recoup back. So that means we need to strengthen the kidneys. This is something very beautiful. In allopathy, we have nothing to do with, but in allopathy, what we say is if you have blood pressure, you will get screwed up your kidneys. That is what we say. But in reality, is the other way. Only when your filtration system in the kidneys get affected, that is when your blood pressure also increases. Now, when the inflammation is happening, automatically your blood pressure slowly goes up. Now, there's another research. What they found was the person is having high uric acid, there is an inflammation, and then the blood pressure is high. So, what they did was they treated the patient with lowering medicines. By giving the medicines, they lowered down the uric acid. Once they lowered down, don't you think the blood pressure has to come down? They found that more than 50% of the people, after once the blood pressure sets in, because of the high inflammation happening, the uric acid is brought down, but the blood pressure cannot be brought down. So that means when there is a systemic inflammation happening in your body, it is not easy for us to bring down your blood pressure. That is why they say your blood pressure medicine has to be taken continuously, lifelong until you die. But here there is a little turning point for all of us. If you can bring down your inflammation in your body, once your inflammation comes down, slowly your blood pressure also can come down, and slowly you can bring down the medicines what you're using for your blood pressure. And then later on, if everything is okay under the guidance of the doctor, you should be able to remove the medication in a stepwise manner. So it is possible, because I have done that for many patients where I have removed the blood pressure medication and they're fine, absolutely no issues. But it takes minimum 6 months to 1 year for me to do the stabilization of the your kidneys, stabilization of the vessels. There are a lot of things we need to do. Saying that uric acid can create a lot of problem, so please bear this in mind. Now, this is something I think you would be seeing a lot of people, beer belly. Now, what's happening? Because they have a high uric acid, and what are you telling your body? When you drink a lot of beer, okay, you produce a lot of high uric acid. If you have a lot of high uric acid, what happens? Automatically it indicates to the brain and to the body cells that you need to save for the winter season. In fact, we don't have winter season today, but you're telling your body to do preparation for the winter season, because you need to produce fat so that during the winter you should be able to use the fat and turn it into glucose. Are we doing that? Now, this is where the beer belly comes in. Now, some people are very proud of themselves, saying that they have a big paunch, but they are only, so doctor, we are only drinking beer. But do you know how much of damage you people are creating to your own self when you're drinking beer? Once in a while you drink. See, I'm not here to tell you totally, come out of the beer and come out of alcohol. No way. You can drink, but you should know your limitation. From today, if you understand that drinking a lot of beer will cause your uric acid high, why do you want to create that? Just by creating high uric acid, do you want your kidneys to get screwed up? Do you want a blood pressure to come in? Do you want your stroke to come in? Do you want your heart to have a problem? See, all will happen slowly. It is not that just because you're drinking for the past 6 months of beer, automatically will. But we do not know. Many a times we will face a situation where it can happen in 6 months, 1 year, 2 year, we do not know. How healthy are you? We do not know. A lot of people will be vegetarians, but they can drink beer. But at the end of the day, when you start drinking beer, if it is just one mug around 200 ml, 200 ml or 300, I think the beer can is around 325 ml. If you're drinking 325 ml, maybe weekly once, it should be okay. But then also, are you compensating your body with sufficient amount of water? We do not. So you have to be a little concerned about your uric acid level going high, and that in turn creating you a lot of problems. So please, from today onwards, understand your body, how this uric acid can create a lot of situation which you won't expect. You will be thinking, I'm only drinking beer and I don't smoke, I don't do anything, but at the end of the day you will face one day heart attack. Now you already saw 38% you're eligible for heart issues, and you are eligible 88% for stroke issues. Why? Because of the high uric acid. And you won't even know. Let me tell you, your blood uric acid will not be high at all. The day it is high, that means it's really high, and that day you will have all the problem, and that time you want to change, the doctors want to give you medication, it doesn't work. So please be careful and start working on what you're going to do. The common problems of high uric acid, what is that? Very simple. You see there, you can have kidney issues, you can have heart issues, you can have brain stroke. For men, very important, you have high uric acid, the crystals can go and block in your prostate. Now, prostate is a gland for men, very important. It should be normal. There are a lot of men after 50 years, the prostate will get enlarged. Why it is getting enlarged, many of us don't know. They will say because of age. It can be because of high uric acid. Your prostate can be swollen, becoming big. But your X-ray may not pick up the uric acid crystals in your prostate. It may not. So there are a lot of other reasons wherein you will have prostate issue, but high uric acid is one of the reasons. Then comes your gout. Gout, I think, you're very common. All the joints are involved, and especially the small joint swelling, and especially early in the morning, swelling, very painful, and then slowly the whole day you will have pain. And then once you go to the doctor, what do they give you? They'll give you a painkiller injection, they'll put you a steroid injection. The moment they give you these two, your pain goes down and all the other symptoms will go down, and you're happy, and then you will go back to your same routine of your food habits not good, then automatically you will be drinking your beer, because most of us think that just drinking beer is still okay and fine, and then socially it is acceptable. I agree with you, it is acceptable, but your body doesn't want. Why your body doesn't want? The body's uric acid mechanism, you have changed it because you are evolved, and today you feel it's a very chilling factor that drinking beer is okay and then it is acceptable in the society, but your body will not accept it. To after a certain limited period, it will not accept it, because definitely it creates more problems for it. Now, other than that, type 2 diabetes invariably will. Now, this is something very beautiful. Invariably, all the diabetics will have high uric acid. Invariably. Now, if a treatment is supposed to be given for a diabetic, doctors will check the blood test and uric acid is normal, right? If the uric acid normal, they are not going to treat you for uric acid. They will just give you other medication. But if you come to us in the epigenetic, when we do our epigenetic bioenhancer or your hair analysis, what we will see is we'll pick up the uric acid from your cellular level. So that ultimately we know what to do. So what we do, we start working on how to remove the waste product. So we will improve your dustbin clearance system. That means the MPK. The dustbin lorry, the garbage lorry comes in, right? So we need to create the garbage lorry for you so that it goes and picks up all the unwanted uric acid from everywhere in the body and then throws it out through the kidney. And at the same time, you should not be having any kidney issues by throwing the uric acid out through the kidney. So we have to be a little more concerned and we should know how to do that. So drinking water will be one of the best methodology. Then of course blood pressure. How many of you, the doctors will treat you for uric acid to bring down your blood pressure? How many of the doctors will do that? Nobody is going to do that. The moment your blood pressure is high, they'll say your blood pressure is high. After 1 week or 2 weeks, they'll say, okay, fine, your age 40 plus, automatically you are prone for blood pressure. If your dad is having a blood pressure, mommy is having blood pressure, automatically you are eligible for it, and then they'll start the treatment. But it might be only the inflammation secondary to uric acid. It can be that is the simplest reason. So why not youngsters having blood pressure a little high, your uric acid has to be checked. If the uric acid, bring down your uric acid. If you're drinking a lot of beer and then your blood pressure is going up, think of uric acid. That would be the problem for you so that your blood pressure is going up. Now, there are a lot of other causes. I'm not going to those details, but this is one of the major causes wherein we see. What is the simplest solution? So I need to give you a simple solution. There is definitely you can reduce the amount of meat what you're eating, the shrimps, the shellfish, less of fructose. That means processed food you have to bring it down. If you can avoid, I would say lessen your beer drinking. If you can avoid it, why not? Once in a while, please drink. Let it be a social drink, maybe monthly once, shouldn't be a problem. But if it is on a regular basis, 300 ml every day or 300 ml to 600 ml, some people were telling me they can go up to even four cans of beer. That means it's almost 1 liter, 1.2 liters. And recently, I had been to a party in Port Dixon, and my one of my very good friends, what they were doing is they had ordered for beer mugs. So all the jugs were kept, and then finally, the number of guests came was very less. There were 5 jars left behind, 5 jars of beer. And you won't believe, my friend actually, he drank 3 jugs. One jug is definitely more than 500 ml of beer would have been there. So he drank almost 1500 ml one shot. He said, why should we waste, doctor? We should drink. And then he drank. Now, this is how most of the people think that if they drink beer, they'll just pass the urine and fine. No, there are a lot of other problems you're creating for your own self. And this particular friend had all the joint pains as well. Now I'm understanding, wow, because I went and read about uric acid, I came to understand, wow, this is a very, very beautiful connection between the uric acid and our drinking of beer. Then, other than that, what you can do is very simple alkaline. You have to alkalize your body. Half a teaspoon of baking soda with half lime squeezed in 200 ml of water, and then when you drink it, you will be able to dilute the your urine, and then whatever crystals are there, it will be able to clear it up. Even apple cider vinegar is also another wonderful 10 to 15 ml in a minimum of 100 ml of warm water, and you can just drink it up. That also is another very good to bring down your uric acid. Can you believe vitamin C taking for 500 milligrams, natural vitamin C? I'm not talking about the ascorbic acid, what we see, what you get in your pharmacies. The natural vitamin C, if you can take this, what it helps is it helps to clear out the uric acid from your body. So if you have vitamin C deficiency, what will happen? Definitely your uric acid will be high. It's all a very beautiful game inside your body, and then automatically it does affect the body. So here what you need to do is definitely the apple cider vinegar, vitamin C is very, very important for you to clear. So these are all little thing, and alkaline water plays a very, very important role in alkalizing your urine and thereby diluting your uric acid for it to be clearly thrown out. Now, terahertz resonated water is another amazing water where I personally have seen uric acid of my own self. When I tested it, I was going on fasting and my uric acid levels came up, and then finally I started drinking terahertz water and cleansing it, and finally after 1 week of terahertz water, when this is in the beginning I'm talking, and I could clear my uric acid levels. See, what happened was when I checked my blood level of uric acid was around 300, 270. I went in for fasting, and then I was drinking only terahertz water. What was happening is terahertz water was going in the cellular level and pushing all the uric acid from the cell level, pushing it out and then pushing it into your blood. So my blood within 1 week, it went up to almost 450. I think it was 450 milligrams of uric acid, which was normal was 300. It went almost 400. It was very high, and my blood sugar. Now, if I'd probably gone and seen a doctor and then they checked my blood uric acid, there was a very high uric acid. Then they had to put me on medicine. But here the secret was I was drinking terahertz water, and that in turn it goes inside your cell level, the metabolism wherever, and washes it up, pushes it out, brings down to your kidney and pushes it. And then after 1 week, my uric acid level came down. So terahertz resonated water is one of the smallest molecule water available in the market. So it is a lot of good benefits are available when you are drinking terahertz resonated water. So when we say that, what are the other food what you can consume to reduce your uric acid? You can take a lot of cherries. Bananas is supposed to bring down your uric acid, and citrus fruits, these oranges, lime, all these are supposed to bring down your uric acid. Apple, that's why apple cider vinegar plays a very, very important role, because high fiber, they will go and pick up the uric acid and then they will clear it up. Green tea is very, very important for your uric acid to be brought down. Coffee is another very, very important area where it can bring down your uric acid levels, and leafy grain vegetables. So these are all simple things what you all have to understand and then come down, bring down your uric acid. So please check your uric acid not in the blood level. If you check in the blood level, it may be normal, but you have to come back to us or doctors who are all practicing epigenetics. Maybe they'll be able to do your hair analysis, and then you should be able to get your bioquantum and then see if it is cellular uric acid high or not. If the cellular uric acid is high, you better work on it, please, because this is how you should be able to handle your body and optimizing your healthy body so that you're able to live a peaceful life without diseases. Very, very important. So now, so we do have our terahertz technology, and then this is terahertz resonated water. So terahertz is a machine which is available in our company here, and then what we do is we just expose the water to the terahertz resonator, and then automatically within 3 minutes it gets resonated. Your water breaks down, the molecular structure of the water breaks down, and then automatically it becomes a small molecule. So what happens when you resonate the water? What are the benefits you get? Is these are the beautiful 12 benefits you get when you resonate the water. Now, anytime when you talk to your people and when you are talking to people who are drinking water, most of them drink water, but you can ask them, does your water have antibacterial effect? That means, see, many times they will think the clean water what they are drinking is equivalent to antibacterial. Antibacterial means, see, you pour the terahertz water into a dish and you put the organisms inside, the organisms will all die. The same way, if your normal water, it can be Cove water or it can be any other water, you pour the water, will the organisms die? I would say no, because there is no clinical evidences shown that it is an antibacterial. It is a clean filtered water. That is okay. But what we are talking is terahertz resonated water is an antibacterial. That means the organisms will get killed. Now, if you're going to drink this terahertz water, what happens when it goes into your stomach? It will kill all the bad guys. The good guys will be there. It is automatic. It is an antiviral. It is an antifungal. It has got an antioxidant effect. That means it can donate a oxygen molecule to your free radical damaged cells. It has got an anti-radiation. Why they say is they have exposed this particular water to uh, typical radiation, and then after that they've checked uh, the water molecule has not changed. It is still the same. So this is something very, very beautiful, anti-radiation. And then of course it has got a low viscosity of minus 680. Your normal water will be plus. So there won't be much of viscosity. Now, the more viscosity, the more benefits for you because it becomes slippery. So that means when you're drinking this water and the water is inside you and the inside your blood vessels and it's mixing up with your blood, what will happen? Automatically, the cells will be very slippery and they'll be able to move further and sail through into your organs much more easily, and your cellular function becomes much better. It's like those days we all used to use a normal engine oil, right? Nowadays we are all using synthetic, fully synthetic, semi-synthetic, and then fully synthetic. If you see the fully synthetic, the viscosity of that fully synthetic oil is very high. It will be all minus. That means the engine will run much smoother. So that is the advantage of having a low viscosity. Then its angulation increases by 5 degrees. Normally the angulation of the water is anywhere between 104 to 113. But the ideally live water is between 106 to 109 is an ideally live water. So what happens is if your water molecule is below 105 angulation, the moment you resonate it, it becomes 106 to 1010. Anywhere between that, it will open up. So 5 degrees, it will open up. Now, absorption of this water is 3 times. That means you drink 1 glass of terahertz resonated water is equivalent to 3 glass of normal water, whatever you're drinking. 3 glasses. So 1:3. So that means drinking 1 glass of water, you should be able to help your basal metabolic rate increase and your cellular function also definitely will increase. It does support the telomere in the DNA. Telomere is something like a small piece there, the telomere. The longer it is, the longer you will live. The shorter it is, the sooner you will die. So it is one of the measurement of a person's life expectancy. If you are going to live longer, the telomere has to be longer. Now it supports the telomere. That means it is anti-aging. As I told you, it is an anti-aging property is in this particular resonated water. If it is anti-aging, that means your telomere is probably not shrinking, but at least it's the same, or maybe it is increasing a little bit. And it does this particular water. You would have seen in my experiment, which the videos were being played before we all started this Zoom, right? Where I was showing with my dowsing rod. Your energy fields can be changed by drinking, by spraying. The energy field of the products can be changed. So that is another big advantage. And it has got a longer shelf life. You can see, for example, if you're using alkaline water of 9.5 to 10 pH, you get it from an ionizer, you will not be able to keep it more than 1 to 2 days, and that too you should place it in a dark containers. But if you're going to expose it to light, automatically it loses its alkalinity, and also it loses the oxidation potential inside the water. But here, what the most beautiful part of terahertz resonated is once you resonate it, it is very stable and it doesn't affect your pH. Whatever your pH, if your pH is 9.5, the pH will be the same 9.5. But if you are exposing the water to outside atmosphere, definitely the pH can come down. But normally, if you can drink the freshly prepared terahertz resonated water within 1 to 2 days or maximum 5 to 6 days, it should be good enough. But if you have the instrument with you and then you want to, you want to prepare it every day and drink, that is the best. And then that is what I would request every one of you to, you have to work on that principle of preparing it every day and then drinking. So with these 12 these properties of water, if anybody can give you this particular water with all these qualities, then you can go and drink that water. There is nothing wrong. But in the market, there is nothing available with this kind of qualities. There are a lot of waters available, right? From hydrogen water to the ionized water to the ozonated water to the clean water to the oxygen water. There are so many available. But what are the properties? So when you look at the properties of water, you need to have all this. Then it is ideally for you to drink. So what is that today's message? What I wish to let you all know is uric acid is something has been ignored in many areas, and many of you wouldn't even know that you have uric acid, and you wouldn't even look into your blood test. But by chance in your blood test, if it is normal, and then you still have symptoms like burning urine or some joint pains, especially if you're having, please look into it. Come to the cellular checking and then get yourself checked. If your uric acid is high, then you should bring it down. But by chance, you're far away where you cannot come down and then get your bioquantum checked. What you can do is, as I gave you the simplest remedies there, half a teaspoon of baking soda with half lime, just drink it up. So weekly once change. Even coriander leaves, you cut into bite. It will be available in all the Indian shops, all the vegetables where they sell. You ask for coriander leaves, it is available. Katumbar. In Malay, it is called katumbar. So when you buy this, buy for 1 or 2 ringgits, wash it well and then cut it into small pieces. Put around half liter of water and boil it nicely, and then you pour it inside your water bottle and then drink it the whole day. It is an alkalizer. It is a very good kidney cleanser. The second good kidney cleanser is your half lime with half baking soda is very good. Tender coconut. Tender coconut water drinking is very, very important, and it does uh, keep your kidneys cleansed. So very important, you need to notice that drinking sufficient amount of water plays a very, very important role, and do not allow your body to get into dehydration mode, and then from there you want to bring back to the normal hydration mode. It's very, very difficult. So you better be careful, so that at least if you have someone who can provide you with the terahertz resonated water, please look into it and ask them to give the water on a regular basis, resonate it well, and then at least 3 times. If you are using the older machine, I would say 3 to 4 times. Please resonate it. With the new machine also, I do resonate it 2 times, and it is definitely a very, very effective method of keeping much more stronger molecule of the water, and thereby when you drink that water, it really helps you to keep your kidneys cleansed, and your uric acid can be brought down without taking any unnecessary medication. So this is something wonderful. This week, I think I shared a lot of good information about uric acid, and especially people who are drinking beer without the knowledge that it is okay to drink as many jugs as possible or as many tins as possible. I would say no. Better check your uric acid and see what has to be done. Look into it, and with this, I think it's high time for me to let you all go. And I have done my today's topic of uric acid. So thank you all very much and bless you in abundance. And then looking forward to see you next week with my 92nd episode. Thank you very much. And over to you, Brian.